looks like the Hunter Biden pardon was the final straw for Democrats when it comes to Joe Biden. Gone are the days of worshiping Dark Brandon as the ice cream cone-eating, aviator-wearing hero. A scathing new report from Axios talks about how Biden is now, quote, loathed by many Democrats who blame him for twin sins of selfishness, running again, then pardoning Hunter after repeatedly saying he wouldn't. Angry Democrats also threatening to kneecap one of the most sacred rites of passage for a former president. They're threatening to withhold donations from his future presidential library. Biden's legacy is toast. And I'm thinking the media no longer wants to see Joe Biden on Mount Rushmore. Watch this.
You have the leading Democrat in America and the leading Republican in America both agreeing on one thing. The Justice Department has been politicized. That is absolutely that is long-term damaging. This is no longer short-term damaging.
He kept saying things like, oh, you know, nobody's above the law. I respect, you know, the jury's decision in regards to my son. He didn't believe that, but he didn't have to volunteer that lie to begin with.
It puts sort of wind in the Trump sails of saying, look, we're all alike, we're all politicians, we're all corrupt. And that's just not helpful.
But it's not just Hunter. St. Joe might be doling out pardons for Christmas for figures like Dr. Fauci, Liz Cheney, and Adam Schiff. Dana, is there any basis for handing out preemptive blanket pardons?
Well, Biden just gave the most sweeping pardon to anybody, aside from, well, maybe even including Richard Nixon. And so he's testing all of the norms, just like he has been all along. I don't even know if it's constitutional. But also, they've not asked for a pardon. So I think in some ways, this is them trying to figure out how can we get out there and make our political situation even worse.
Yeah,
Biden has basically taken a blowtorch to his legacy, what was left of it. And that's not coming from Republicans, that's coming from inside the tent. And you know what happens when you turn on a blowtorch inside the tent?
Mm-hmm. Kaboom.
It burns down.
Very good, everyone. Fire safety lesson.
All right, so Jessica, they hung the library over Biden's head this summer when they kneecapped him with the coup. They said, if you don't step down, no library. And now he might not get one anyway.
Oh my God. Is there a worse thing that could happen to a man besides not getting a library?
He might have to have it in his garage next to the Corvette.
The Corvette and all the documents? Or the documents have been cleared out?
It's the safest place.
Yeah. Get in your laughs, yeah. The talk of, is the Biden presidency akin to FDR has obviously fallen by the wayside. And we have moved to a new stage at this point. And it must be pretty lonely right now for the Biden family. I feel like there was anger around the late exit from the race and anointing Kamala, which it sounds like wasn't the plan, right? That people wanted a mini primary, or that's what Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama thought was going to happen. But then as the campaign was going, it felt like he was back to kind of hero status a bit, and we thought this is feasible that we could win, then we lose, not great. Now the pardon, which is having to force Democrats to take positions, at least elected officials, that they don't want to have to say something. Like Gavin Newsom doesn't want to have to say something right now, Jared Polis, et cetera. And that's put them in a tough spot. Do I think net in the long term that there are going to be people who still really respect and admire what Biden was able to accomplish? Yes, but this is going to be a major stain on it, not because people can't understand pardoning your son and protecting him when Donald Trump is appointing people to his cabinet who have made it clear that they are going to be on a revenge tour. And the same is true of going after an Anthony Fauci or a Liz Cheney. But it is the judge's writing, which is never good for me. But it's a dark time and won't be a nice holiday season, I don't think, for the Biden family.
Judge Shanine?
Okay, I have several thoughts. Number
Yes.
one, okay, I'm sick and tired of the Democrats complaining. They're complicit in this whole thing. They're the ones who cheered him on when he reannounced in 2023. They're the ones who said he had more energy than the rest of us. We can't keep up with him. They're the ones who said he was the best president who should be on Mount Rushmore. And now that they lost, they want to blame him. Well, when you get fleas when you lie with dogs. They are the same ones who tried to sell us what they're accusing Biden of right now. But here's the thing. They had a terrible candidate. She had 4 years to figure out how to be a president. She was too incompetent, inarticulate to do that. So they lost because of that. Now, In the end, I don't want to hear about the Dems blaming Joe Biden. They can blame themselves. And revenge tour? Are you kidding me? The Department of Justice has never been weaponized the way it has. You take a presidential candidate, a former president, and indict him and make like you have no idea what your Department of Justice is doing. When you allow your Department of Justice to overlook the highest earning years of your son Hunter because you were involved with the corruption with him where he grabbed garbage bags of money from around the world. I'm sick of the Democrats. They haven't learned anything from this election. What they've got to learn is that there are consequences, that Americans want law and order, and that in the end, they got to stop with this progressive, leftist, un-American nonsense.
I'll give it a minute.
So they're floating.
I would like to concede my time to the audience.
So they're floating a pardon for Dr. Anthony Fauci, Tyrus. What would Anthony Fauci be guilty of?
Again, I'm not as learned as the judge when it comes to laws, but don't you have to break a law for you to have a pardon even discussed? I'd like to, let's stop with that. Miss me with this outrage over this pardon. Both sides, right, left. It's the one thing Biden did that he probably should have done in his entire term. He protected his son and his family. I'm not mad at that. I understand that. Do I like it? No. Would I do it for my own child? I would have. The difference was I would have had him standing next to me. Now, you face America and you tell him what you did, and you apologize, okay? But let's stop with the I can't believe he pardoned thing. And I think that is one of the most laughable things is everyone's so outraged. It's probably the one thing they let him decide himself when they were sticking the knife in his back, when they told him he was stepping down. Listen, you step down, you get to pardon your son. And he probably took the deal. So let's just move on from the pardon. The only thing I wish is if Biden would love the American people as much as his son, maybe he would have treated the people in North Carolina and Tennessee and Florida from the hurricane. Maybe he could show them some love. But miss me with the problem with Biden's pardon. It's probably the most stand-up thing he's done, even though I categorically disagree. But as a father, I get it.
And he can't even stand up.
No, he can't.
All right.
He stands fine.
He stands not
he stands
so well,
fine.
Jessica.
It's the walking and talking.
And the bike riding.
Yes.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.